kings? More like peasants. What do these guys think they are?
What are these amateurs? Kings? Like a bunch of boneless jesters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
God, why does he always have this? Why is he always so loud?
Every time you start off. But
yes,
It's not an experienced intro if Liam doesn't just eat the mic.
exactly.
it's our signatures.
It's signature.
You know what the King's podcast has that is signature? Nothing.
No.
They ain't
They're
got
generic
jack.
and
This
boring.
is a diss. Okay, on their last episode, they declared war on us.
And you know how much of a mistake that was?
I don't think they realize how much of a mistake that is.
I don't think they realize the sheer
don't know what
power
they've
we
done.
possess.
So
Sheer-
we have to show them. We have to destroy them now. They've
We
declared
have
war.
to drop trow and just, yes.
We're gonna consume their children.
I feel like that was going somewhere.
Yeah, you were gonna
just
go somewhere with
didn't.
that yours. Yeah.
You just kind of forgot where you were going.
Basically, they declared war on us, not the other way around. So, of course, we're going to accept. I mean, they don't realize the amount of power that we have.
Podcast? That's
Yeah.
exactly who we are. You assumed correctly.
Yeah, that's a
Good
great
job.
assumption. We're not the kings, even though our kings episode got a decent amount of views. That doesn't matter, okay? That doesn't matter. That didn't get views because
That's all thanks to YouTube algorithm. It has nothing to do with them.
And statistics prove that. That was just a lucky thing. Had nothing to do with them. You know what else? Podcasts. We started that trend. They just copied us. What are they trying to accomplish? Being the next experience? You can't.
Not possible.
You can't do that. But
The combination of the three of us is just so unique, it cannot be replicated.
I mean, what? You get 3 new people, do a podcast. It's not even weekly. They're not even consistent.
No. They missed a month. One entire month. We only missed a week, and that was because scheduling was really whack that week.
It was very whack that week.
Out of almost 35 episodes, we have only ever missed 1 week. They have 8 episodes, and they've missed like practically all of them.
They have been getting better, but that's not a compliment. That's an insult.
That is. They're trying, but they're not trying enough. They don't know what are these amateurs, huh? Just because they had us as guests on their podcast. And
They
now
think they're all high and mighty.
all high and mighty.
Just because we essentially inspired the idea. The Experience podcast is the father to the King's podcast. There is no doubt in that.
Yep.
It is our child that we wish we gave up for adoption. It's
It's kind of like a superhero origin story. We created our own villain. That's how the comic series starts. So, because Dave declared our own child has declared war on us, of course we're going to accept. Now the question is, how will this war happen?
It's an excellent question. I'd also like to point out the fact that they don't even have an intro.
They don't have an intro. Meanwhile, we do.
Nope.
And we even say, welcome to episode 34 of the Experience podcast, huh? We've got stuff. We got consistency. So
sort of.
Sort of.
We have upload consistency. Whether or not it's a good episode, that's a different. That's different. But let's not talk about that.
No, we don't talk about that.
Here's the thing.
We have a good episode every once in a while. The King's podcast never has a good episode. The only episodes that have been good is when the Experience podcast shows up on their podcast.
Dish straight at them, straight from the underworld, directed to them. We know you're listening, kings boys, huh? Just because we've given you the benefit, we've given you the sheer luxury of being on the Experience Gaming episodes. We've been on your podcast and you've been on ours, but no more of this fake friendship. This is true rivalry.
This is the greatest rivalry
of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
Nothing can beat this. Since ever, dude. And we're going to destroy them. Now, the question is, we can't just do a fist fight because Corona. So how do we settle this?
That's unsafe.
So how do we settle this?
We hire hitmen to pump carbon monoxide into their houses until they die. It's simple.
Do you think there's still hitman services running in COVID time?
Oh, I guarantee you. I guarantee you that. Just like wear a mask and social distance. But
I guess it makes sense.
You can still get the job done from 20 feet away if you really needed to. You know what I mean?
Question is, do we know where they live?
That and
it's
also,
not a
I feel like using hitmen or
where
cheating.
we live. It's a question on whether or not we'd be able to find out where they live, and I guarantee you that's a possibility.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could just ask them politely.
Yep.
We'll send out a written letter to them individually, and we'll say, "Hey, we would like to inject your house with carbon monoxide. Do you agree?
Where do you live?
Yes or no? And where do you live? Please provide address.
Please circle. Please write answer and circle the yes or no for the carbon monoxide question, and then send back to this return address."
No, it's not yes or no. It's yes and yes.
Yes and mm-hmm.
It's yes and of course, obviously. Why wouldn't I?
I still think that using hitmen is cheating, so we have to do it ourselves.
Oh, that's easy enough.
It is.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think I don't think we need a furnace. What we need is a couple of pre-70s cars that just pump out more carbon monoxide and deadly gases that could like melt an iceberg in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, what's that
because
called?
your little Cobalt, Aiden,
yeah,
as much of a masculine car that is,
masculine with
it just doesn't have the ability to kill someone. Gabe,
no.
The shape of your car, like the shape that it's in, I don't know. I'd have to check the underside, but who knows? Maybe all of the cats are rusted on that thing, and it could be just as bad.
It's a potential.
Yes, it's a potential, but what we need is straight piped 70s vehicles that, chug eight miles to the gallon and have to go from pump to pump to get anywhere.
So
where do we acquire such a vehicle?
A Hummer.
Kijiji.
Hummer.
How much?
We need an old Hummer.
How much do those go for?
I don't know.
Old Hummers? Like over 20 grand. You can pick up a rust bucket that pumps more CO2 into the environment than me.
I
don't think you fart out CO2.
I would think so. Holy dude.
But imagine you could pick one of those up for like $2,000.
Imagine producing enough carbon dioxide to kill somebody just by existing.
It's a special quality of mine.
It's a blessing and a curse.
What's the blessing part of that?
The hitman property.
How do you even survive if you just produce that much CO2?
I don't know, man.
It's an excellent question.
Just the answer is a lot of masks. Like 3 at a time, maybe one with a filter if you're feeling frisky.
He has an oxygen pump going at all times.
Yeah. just to make sure he survives. If he stays in one place for too long, then it just floods the room, and it just becomes a death trap.
He has to keep moving.
You can never stop. I don't see any blessing in that.
No, it's pretty aight. But anyways,
it's like being Poison Man. It's pretty aight.
But anyways, how cheaply can we get a rust bucket that pours CO2 out of its exhaust?
$800 at the cheapest.
Nice.
All right. So do we have $800 we could pool together to use to kill somebody?
Yes.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
We could
Good
easily
stuff.
do that.
All right. So we get that.
And we get more bang for our buck because we can take 3. We can get all 3 of them.
Exactly.
That is true. So now we drive to each of their houses and just kind of hook a tube up to the exhaust pipe and then just kind of put it into like the vents there.
Whoa. Tube? It's a little expensive there, bud.
You know,
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
I'm
Here comes
thinking
the
a
bootleg.
cardboard box coming out of a McDonald's dumpster will do.
You know, yeah. We can attempt that.
Specifically McDonald's. Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, where else are you
Burger
gonna get a
King?
cardboard box?
No. That's bad quality.
That's like
Bad
soggy ass
quality.
cardboard. It just kind of tears apart when you hold it in your hands. This is some bad
Exactly.
quality stuff.
You see, the McDonald's cardboard boxes, they tear apart in your hands when you actually try to tear them apart. Burger King, they just you know how meat
Melt.
is tender and it just melts in your mouth? Yeah, it melts in your hands. It's like M&M's.
Or like any chocolate, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're lame. Trash.
Yeah, but they work.
Wait, Liam. How do we use cardboard boxes to do this? That's my question.
Repeat
Sorry.
that again. I need my brain needs to be firing on half of its cylinders.
All right.
We're
how do
trying
we
to
use
carbon
cardboard
monoxide.
boxes to pump CO2 into someone's house?
You take your cardboard box, you hook it over the exhaust pipe. All the cardboard box is doing is routing the CO2 into their house.
How long of a box would you need for that?
That's why we interlock them.
Oh man.
Oh,
Fancy
I'm talking
boy.
like real Pythagorean theorem type deal here, man.
Whoa, we can actually use math class.
Will we use
Whoa. Who knew this is when we'd use it?
This is when we're trying to kill our friends. I mean, enemies,
Enemies, rivals,
rivals,
Bitter.
arch nemesis.
arch nemesis.
We kill them with carbon monoxide poisoning with an old rust bucket we got from Kijiji for $800.
And the cardboard box is for free from a dumpster.
Yes. But what if they're planning this? What if they're anticipating this?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Then
What
we
if
have a plan B.
What is
We,
plan B?
Drive another car to the other side of their house and pump it with carbon monoxide.
we drive into their backyard and do it there?
That doubles our expenses.
No, it doesn't. We have 3 cars at our disposal. We attack them from all angles.
Oh, right. Ah,
Oh.
yes. But what if they're not at home? What if they're
Well,
anticipating that?
Then
they have to
we-
be at home.
Yeah. Like, think about who we're talking about. You think they have social lives? Really?
Oh, is that another diss I hear?
Ooh, that's
Oh,
another.
shit.
We gotta keep a tally of this. We gotta put it up in the corner somewhere.
Put a tally put a tally
Yeah,
counter
put a
in there.
discount.
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 Yeah. Good stuff.
I just realized what that said.
Exactly. We gotta have a discount. With discount, we're trying to kill them as cheaply as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't want to spend all of our life
talking-
savings just trying to kill them. Then in
Exactly.
the end,
they're
they
not
win.
even worth it.
This is
See, this is why
They're
this
not
is a
even
bad idea.
worth
Challenging
our
us
time
to a
and money.
war, because Liam will just go off.
He has like a million ideas.
Sort of.
Just
yes.
running, sort of.
Yeah.
Although he's
yes.
got to like access them. He's kind of got them in like
it's like
floppy
my
disk
brain's
format.
on like a screensaver, and I am diving into the files of my homework folder that I had 3 years ago.
Oh boy.
And I'm just unearthing some unholy terror. And you, the King's Podcast, have opened that 64 gigabyte homework file.
Oh, no.
You heard it here first. Im's got 64 gigs of homework.
That's a lot of Word documents.
Oh,
I
God.
had a folder on my old school laptop that I literally I just have it like porn. I have it named porn in all capital letters, and that's literally where I kept all my homework files.
Chad.
What a guy.
Just admitting to it.
Yep. What a guy.
Amazing.
Dude. How do you have your school laptops organized when it comes to homework?
I
I know mine was a
I
mess.
have my individual.
It's kind of like
classes separated.
saved somewhere.
Somewhere.
And whenever I open up
System
Word, I can
files.
kind of use a shortcut from there. But if I ever need to find the file, it's an interesting
God
adventure.
help you.
But hey, I mean, it's like the same thing with my backpack, a mess. And you know what else is a mess? The King's Podcast.
Ooh, another one added to the list. Oh man, yeah. I
make it my mission. Like, it doesn't matter what topic we're talking about tonight. I am going to insult the King's Podcast. I'm going to find a way.
That's the best. They declared war. This is what they get. This is how we're gonna fight back.
Mm-hmm. You see, what they have somebody. They don't have what we have.
No,
Me.
they don't. It's that simple. They don't. They cannot have what we have. Unless we're all over there, but we know that's never gonna happen.
No.
No, it can't. It's not possible. It's illegal. Did you have anything else from that, or is just they don't have what we have, and that was it?
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they just don't. It's pathetic. It's so chaotic and unorganized. I'm being ironic here.
No, really? Wow, I would have never guessed.
I know, but
You being ironic, that's amazing.
it's interesting, isn't it?
Anyways.
But yeah, like, come on, Jeremy, JP, Tony,
It's Eric.
coming after you.
Tony's not on there, it's Eric.
Eric, Tony, Eric. Oh, okay,
Tony isn't on the Kings, it's Eric.
right. You see, that's how unimportant they are. I don't even remember their
I knew that
names.
was coming. I was just trying to set you up. I was trying to squeeze it out of you because I knew you were gonna say it.
It just takes a little push. You see,
Yeah.
my insults are like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Gravity off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. You see,
Oh boy.
the experience.
You just can't.
Oh,
Bro. You probably have so many things that you're thinking of, but you're at home and you probably don't want to see them.
oh yeah.
You have
Like
to have
I
a
could go
filter.
off right now. It's just the fact that I need a filter.
The filter has to exist, otherwise the world implodes.
Oh yeah, like
Especially with
I've
Liam.
honestly really worked on my filter. Aiden, care to share how bad my filter was?
Yeah, because I don't think I've witnessed the worst of your filter. I wasn't around at that time.
Well, I mean, do you wanna start with the communism comment you made to the vice principal of the school? That was
Communism?
pretty no filter.
I don't know if I've ever shared this on the podcast before. I think I might have brought it up once.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. It would be. I'm fairly certain it'd be in and out of context if it was.
Yeah.
So, I'd say go for it.
I was talking to the group at the time, and then the vice principal walks around the corner and starts like making small talk, and I like immediately shut up, right? And then everyone starts killing themselves, and then they're like, what's so funny? And then the guy's turning to me and he's like, go on, tell her what you were talking about. And I'm like, I don't know, guys, I don't know, I don't think that's a good idea. And then she like a really wide smile, like, yeah, come on, you can tell me. And I'm like, oh, okay then.
If you insist.
And I told her straight to her face, gangbangs are just communism sex. And you should have seen her face. It was like a shadow just like tore across her face and wiping out her smile, and like Satan himself kind of just took possession at that moment. And then I got yelled at for being offensive to women for about 10 minutes. And then now she no longer wants to speak to me at all. So I think I've clutched a win here.
Yeah.
I can see why.
This is just a win-win, really.
Exactly. Because there was another time where she came up and started talking to my boys. And then she's like, so how's everyone's day going? And I start talking, I'm like, well, and then she's like, I don't want to hear from you, and then disappears.
You know full well that this is what happens when you talk when she's trying to make small talk. So you just instantly pipe in so she goes away.
Yeah, it's a power, really.
Realistically, Liam's won this. She hasn't.
I think you might have mentioned that on the podcast before. I don't know how we missed putting on the out of context.
Well,
maybe we just didn't purge through it enough.
I think we got to. I think it might be in the ones that I haven't scoured through,
or it might have been even earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be earlier.
Dude, I don't.
Any other moments that come to mind, Aiden?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of your conversations seem to it's hard to pinpoint.
It's just all bad.
I wouldn't say they're all bad. They're all entertaining one way or another. But I think
whether that's a good or bad thing, you decide.
It's like it's like whether we're in the halls at school or in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't matter. If Liam's not at home, he has no filter and he just goes.
Yeah, he just speaks his mind.
Yeah, you can just imagine. If you think it's bad on here, ooh, you don't know the half of it.
And it's gotten pretty bad on here. It's gotten pretty bad on here.
And it's not even close.
Not even in comparison.
Incomparable. You can't even.
You know, so much shit happens on this podcast. I don't remember anything that we've ever said in any episode ever.
That's why it's so fun to go through the out of context. We're just
because we'll go back to last. It's did I really just say that? Oh,
especially Liam.
I guess it's on the internet.
He just starts reeling every time. We're working on it, and Liam hears himself, and he's like, "Hang on, go back. Hang on." He doesn't even believe.
Hold up, rewind. Yeah, because we don't think about what we speak. We just say things without using the part of our brain that tells us to not say it. That part of the brain just gets turned off when we start recording.
Sometimes it kicks in eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Sometimes it's kicked in when the damage has already been done.
Which makes it funny.
Yeah.
It's the instant regret, the hangover, if you will.
Oh wait, I think I just remembered something.
Oh no.
Kind of. It's a bit iffy. So you may, if you remember it, please
jog my
chime in,
memory.
but you might not. So you got blazed one day. And you didn't even have that much. but you were blazed out of your mind. You walked in and you were falling over, walking up the stairs. And you went to class because I met you in the hallway before class started, and I was like, all right, I'm taking you to class. So make sure he gets there safely. He doesn't eat it on the stairs. So I get him to class. I go to class. And then I think we met up for a spare, I believe. And you had somebody in the group that was in your class as well. And he just went off about what you were talking about in class, and it was so funny. I don't remember what it was though.
Oh no! These kind of stories, I don't even remember. It's what people tell me.
So I have a lot of memories of you just kind of walking into class, stumbling over your own feet, and you're just kind of like this weird ass look on your face, like you have no idea where you are. Like you've never been more lost.
Isn't real.
And it's so funny to watch. You just kind of stumble around like you're a little child in the middle of a mall looking for his mom.
This is so true though. The best part is that he doesn't have very much, and he's just instantly like that.
It's just really light. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny, but man,
there's a reason why I no longer dabble in that art.
In the art, the dark arts.
Any particular moments of me in that particular state that you can think of, Gabe? And Aiden, if you have any more stories, please.
Yeah, I'll have to think, but
I think another really telltale sign is like we'll meet each other in the hall, and and you're just gonna be like, you see me, and then like a smile goes on your face, like Gabe, and you just go in for a hug, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's gone. You instantly know.
Oh, I think I remember seeing that. I was walking with him one time, and he saw somebody in the halls, and he's just like, hey. I'm just like, dear Lord. What does this man become?
You instantly know too. It's just
he's just like, oh yeah, how much is he? And the guy was like, oh yeah, how much has he had? And I said, not much.
Not much. Barely any, really.
Starts laughing. It could be any plethora of people. Liam knows a lot of people. So.
Yeah.
I am a particularly well-known person. Is it for the right reason?
Yeah, if it's a good or a bad thing, that's up for debate.
Oh yeah. But I know a ton of people, and even my brother like chimes in every once in a while. Like, how many people do you know? Because like every time I'm walking with him somewhere, I'm like, oh hey, and they're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, yo, idle chit chat, and he's like, who is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of know him from somewhere.
From somewhere. Not sure where though, but he's probably a familiar face or something.
Yeah, like I've talked to him before, and and he definitely remembers me. It's just who it is. It's a good question.
Yeah, and that's when you see someone where they recognize you, and you don't know their name, and so you have to like pretend you know them, but you're like, I don't want to like just kind of ask them what their name is.
Exactly. You're like, hey man, what's good?
So you're just doing everything you can to just avoid like saying, you're just using every pronoun in the book, and then meanwhile in your head you're just like, what the fuck is their name again?
I've had that happen before too, where I've ran into somebody and they're like, oh yeah, remember me? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I'd rather just say, no, I'm sorry, I don't remember you, than try and fake it till I make it.
Yeah.
Because it's just so awkward and I hate it.
It really is. Because you just
I'd rather just admit.
Admit like, yeah, I have no idea who you are. I don't recognize that face.
It's like, I remember where and when, I don't remember who.
Yeah. I don't have a name to the face.
Okay. So speaking of, stumbling around, and not remembering who I am or where I am or who people are.
Did you get amnesia or something?
Yes.
Did you just wake up in the back of a parking lot and find out that someone stole your daughter?
Maybe, but let's not get into that. That's a story for later. And
Okay.
I remember half of a gym class.
Half.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be good.
It was definitely in the same gym classes when I was with Gabe.
Let's see if I remember this one.
I remember going into what we called the Jack Shack.
Oh,
yeah, the
Like
Jack Shack.
in the back of the
yeah.
in the
It's
back
this,
of the gym.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's like this little room because the gym, leads straight outside. There's this little room that between like the outside world and like the gym, and there's like a bunch of like hockey sticks or other like
You know, like
equipment just stacked in
airlocks
there.
and spaceships.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that,
Yeah,
except it's not an airlock. It's just a
and it was
room.
and it was known as the Jack Shack. It's how people would go out to ditch class in gym.
Yep. And I walked into that little zone and I took 2 fat rips off of a pen, right? And I walked back into class and then poof, bye-bye memory.
Bye memory. Well, it's not even half. It's 5 minutes.
No, because we had a bit of a warm-up.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You know what? I wonder if
I remember Gabe, Cole, and Eric talking to me later.
yeah, I think I remember that. I think I remember that class now. Yeah, that was the one where you were like stumbling around like a newborn deer and could barely walk. and then we just had to like kind of walk you like we were there for a while and then we kind of like walked out of class and we just started like chatting in the hallway for a while and you're just like you don't know anything at all. You don't even know where you are. You probably didn't even know you were at school at that time. Actually, you don't know. You have no memory of that happening at all.
You don't know. You don't know what happened that day.
To be fair, I don't
know.
really either. I just have a naturally bad memory when it comes to this.
I do have one more story, I believe. Because this is the one that I remember because this is what people tell me.
This is gonna be good.
Okay, so my first time trying an edible, right?
Right.
Oh, I think I remember this.
I had cooking class right after.
Oh, I think I remember this.
I feel like it is.
And I apparently walked right in, sat down, stared at the teacher for about 15 minutes, and then we walked into the kitchen where I was starting to, pick up knives and try to start, cooking. And all the guys are like, "Yeah, no, I'll take that from you. You read us the instructions and then we'll give you some simple things to do." I pick it up. I skip like the first 5 steps and it says butter the noodles. So I take a scoop of butter and I chuck it into the pot of boiling water with the noodles that are inside of it. And
Oh
and
my
I just start
gosh.
whipping that up and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm buttering the noodles."
I'm buttering the noodles. I remember hearing this. I just died. Holy-
Did you even have cooking class?
Yes. No, I did have cooking class. I was supposed to be in that class.
Oh, I
That'd
thought
be
you just
so
walked
fun-
into
that would be
someone
so
else's
funny if
cooking
you
class and just
didn't
started.
have cooking class.
Yeah, just walked in, stared at a teacher for 15 minutes, and just threw butter into someone's noodles, and then left.
Here's something that's funny is that the amount of times that like the base classes, like all the mandatories, the amount of times that random people would just walk in blazed it's so common. And they walk in like, oh, wrong class, sorry.
And then it'll hit like 3 walls before they find the door.
They'll hit the door twice on their way out.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's always like at the start. It's always like in the middle of class too.
Yeah, because they don't go to class on time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're like 30 minutes into a lecture, something. And then some random person will just open the door.
Walks in, kind of bangs on the door on the way in, and then just fumbles to a chair, realizes that that's it's not the right class.
And they just walk out. Sometimes they won't even. Sometimes they won't even.
But it takes them like 5 minutes.
Sometimes
the teacher doesn't care.
No, teachers don't care. Sometimes they won't even say anything. They'll walk in, sit in a desk, and like, is this one of our? I don't remember this person being in the class, and then it'll just walk out, and you don't even realize it. And all of a sudden they're gone. I'm like, oh, okay.
The teacher will ask like, "Who are you?" and they'll respond with,
They don't even say their names. Probably don't even know.
No, they don't even
moment.
say their name. They just walk out because they know.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Or even better is when they're like, they go and it is their right class, but they're not blazed yet, and then they just do it right in the back of class.
Deteriorate. Yeah. That's happened to me before. It was actually on a day that we were supposed to be taking a big test. And like I had my thing right before. I completely forgot there was a test today. Walk into class, you know, regular before it's kicked in. And then the teacher's like, "All righty, we're having a test today." I'm like, "What?" And then poof, gone. And
don't remember anything.
But what I do remember is that a week later, when the test scores came back, I had a 95% on that test.
What? That's insane.
You blacked out, and then just some spirit possessed you, and you got a 95 on that test, and you have no memory of it.
Wait, what class was this for?
I can't even remember, man.
Oh, that's even better.
I think it was science. Like we were in the middle of the chemistry unit.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. He got a 95 on that with no recollection. Literally,
no idea how.
Last thing you remember is, wait, we're having a test, and then nothing. You just. Oh.
Like I'm trying to remember, but all the, like, do you know when like how old TVs used to turn off where the screen just kind of stayed there and slowly faded?
Yeah,
that's kind of like how my memory's going at that point.
Just kind of fades out. Yeah.
Or sometimes it's just abrupt static and then something else.
Yeah. Well, we welcome you back to our regular scheduled programming.
He remembers the start and the end, but nothing in between.
Nothing in between it. Oh, it's great.
Oh yeah, there was another time that I remember because science class was right after lunch. So I would, just show up all the time out of my mind, right?
Yeah, just cooked.
Yeah. So I would sit down, and apparently I'm not going to drop his name, but he was from another class when we ended up having a joint class that day. And he just kind of looked at me. He knew what was up, right? He was super chill too. It didn't matter, but he knew what was up. And apparently I looked at him like in that look that apparently Gabe knows.
Yeah.
And I gave him a crooked smile.
Yes. Yeah, I know that look.
And then he just starts killing himself. And he came up to me an hour or two later after class, and he was like, "Dude, do you know how bad you were?"
That's when you know is when someone of a similar caliber just looks at you and proceeds to come to you later in the day and be like, "Do you even know?"
Do you know how bad it was, dude? It's such
and
a
apparently in that same class, according to my group, we were supposed to be like making chemical bonds, and we had like Bunsen burners and all that. So I took like a thing of salt and started cooking it over the fire, and, and then just started eating. I think I started eating like citric acid or something.
oh. So just some crazy shit like that. I don't know.
It was
something
something like that.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Mustard gas. I don't know.
Let me just take a whiff. Yeah, that's that. It smells of mustard gas, all right.
Sounds like chemistry to me.
What is that? Was that Dijon?
Oh yeah.
It's I love how that it's such a distinct like smile, like that look on your face when you're just out, like you're just somewhere else. You know immediately. You know instantly.
Yeah, like I remember I used to hang out with a few people that did it frequently. So I got to know that look pretty well. And so whenever like they would leave at lunch and then come back and you could just tell.
Yeah, they're just gone.
They're like half stumbling down the stairs.
Yeah.
They're all just like laughing uncontrollably.
Yeah, they also like laugh at,
for like no reason at all.
Yeah. Like the giggling
could be as simple as a fart joke. They're just gone.
I mean, to be fair, that kills me too.
Yeah. So when Liam comes back and I see the look in his eyes, I look at him.
Yeah.
He looks at me and he just starts smiling. I'm like, yep, I'm walking you to class. Fond memories.
The best part about it is that year, like the year after, I pretty much, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I believe that year was the year that I had like 6 honors.
Yeah, because you're just insane.
Yeah, just no forward thinking. Just do. You're just possessed by the spirit of Mary Jane, and then you just ace everything.
It was kind of godly. I'm not even gonna lie.
It was truly unreal when he'd walk into history, realize there's a test, and then just get
ace
90.
It. Yep, and have zero memory of it. No idea.
Like literally, I don't know if we shared this on high school, but he walked into history, sat down, teacher said test time. He's like, what? And then proceeds to get a 90. I'm just sitting here just in shock.
Wasn't that like that you guys had history like before me?
Yeah, we had it together in the first semester.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I remember that. And like, I'd be waiting outside because I think I had like a spare before that. So I'd like, 5 minutes before I'd be waiting outside the class and you guys would like walk out and then like you'll be like muttering to each other like something along the lines of like, fuck, I didn't know we had a test today, dude. I'm screwed.
I'm like, dude, you'll be fine.
Yes, it was something along those lines. Yeah, and he was perfectly fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, Aiden is such a much harder worker than I am. Like he's like the kind of student that I should be, but I'm not. Yeah. And like when I kind of see him during test time, like he's there like nose to the grindstone. He's like he's got the cogs turning, and I'm just kind of sitting there like I think this is right.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say yes.
It's not even a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get like
In
like 10 to
1947,
15%
yes.
higher than him. It's
Yeah.
it's like crazy.
It's almost not even fair.
It isn't. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it really isn't.
This man just coasts.
He just coasts through on easy mode, or just a lot, like his lifetime supply of luck that's been allotted to him.
Yeah.
He's used up all of it on just those tests.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's just I feel like I'm in between you guys when it comes to like test taking. Like Aiden will be like, he'll go in there and you'll know his stuff. And he'll just kind of write stuff down. And then Liam will just have no idea what's happening. And then
Get it right anyway.
and then I'll be like half of it's like, oh yeah, this is easy. And then the other half I'll like stare at a wall for like 5 minutes straight without blinking. And then I'll be like, yeah, this'll do.
I've had that on some tests too, where I just sit and just like, I don't stare at a wall. I stare at the paper though.
Yeah, dude, on my math, like my grade 10 math exam, I did more math calculating the minimum that I needed to pass the class than I did actually answering questions.
I believe it's called 50%.
Yes. No, I mean, I did. I took what my grade currently was, and I had to took how many, and I calculated how many answers I need to get in order to actually get the minimum 50. And I did pass. So, like, I did my minimum and left. Like, I was there for like 30 minutes because I looked through all the questions. I'm like, yeah, no. I wasn't paying attention for the entire semester.
Oh yeah. My favorites personally are the exams that I still somehow ace. Because literally, like, we have a tradition that right before an exam, we just try to have the greatest of times before walking into that room.
Yeah.
Like
You
chips,
show up like
salsa,
2 hours
games.
early.
Yeah.
Chips, salsa, drinks, games, snacks, like all that fun stuff. We spent like an hour playing like beer pong with soda in the cafeteria while everyone else was studying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were making absurd amounts of noise. We had teachers come to us twice.
Yeah.
Like,
And then you still somehow managed to ace it.
And then I still
outside.
aced the course.
Out of pure luck. Just not even knowing anything. Just
Literally, Liam won't study until the like 10 minutes before.
kind of like that too.
And he'll come to me and be like, okay, there's this one thing I don't understand. Aiden, explain it to me. I'm like, okay. Here you go.
And you're like, all right, cool. And then just aces it. Just goes in, walks out. No memory of it.
Literally, sometimes half the time in the exams, I have to wait half an hour to 45 minutes before I can leave because I'm already done.
There's been only a couple of exams where I've been there the whole time because blech.
Yeah, the long ones. You know, when the teacher gives up like that absurdly long exams and you're there for like the entire day and like, bruh.
That's why I hate English exams, because it's the course of like it's the course of a week and I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is that English exams, like, all of the time, I've never had English in the second semester. This is the first time I'm having English in the second semester when I come back. But it always landed on my birthday week. Like, oh, hey, happy birthday. Here's an English exam. And English is my worst course. I hate it with a burning passion.
This is true.
Like, I have like 70s or something in that course. It's like my lowest grades. Like, and it's consistent too. Every year it's like 76, 75, 77. Oh, hey, he got a 78 this year. Wow.
Over the years, I've gotten better at bullshitting on just writing stuff down. and that usually
That's all
tends to
English
work
is.
out. Yeah,
That's pretty
literally
much all
just
it is.
write shit down, and as long as you have a lot of words, you'll get a good mark.
It's not exactly true, but you.
Yes, it is.
Not grade 12, that's for sure, but you'll find that out
Oh
eventually.
yeah, please, I'm still praying for provincials to be canceled. I do not want to sit in a room doing English for 4 hours. Like
That doesn't mean nightmare. I don't want to write that long, dude. I hate writing. I have one of the worst handwriting like ever.
Like, dude, the way that I want my life to go, English is not even going to be a problem. I swear, if I have to do provincials, I'm gonna just write garbage, pure garbage. I'm going to be writing like fan fiction when I'm supposed to be explaining a short story. So, like,
I mean, as long as
complex short story with depth and meaning, and Liam's just like, well, fan fiction about Zelda and Link. Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about English is that, yeah, when it comes to like interpretation stuff, you can just make shit up. You don't have to understand the story at all because it's an interpretive thing. You just have to write a bunch of words.
I think that Billy Bob was actually trying to say whatever. It's like, well,
you can
here's a point
literally
why I
just
think
make
this.
it up.
but the thing is, you have to have something to back it up. That's the problem.
Yeah,
but yes and no, because you could literally say, "Oh, this is why I think this," and they can't say no because that's why you think it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
what
I know.
they think.
That's what I mean. You have to have something to back it up, like
Well, it's not
why
that
you
hard to
think
find
this,
something.
and then base it back to the story.
No, it's not that hard.
it's not super
I
hard.
know it's not hard, but I wanna just read the short story and then just like
Right.
explain their love triangle and all that fun stuff, right?
Right.
Those are the only good parts.
The only good
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, English really sucks. You know what else sucks? The King's podcast.
There it
Yeah.
is. We came full circle.
The King's podcast in English are in the same file that I have saved in my brain.
You've downloaded all their
F-tier.
episodes and put it in the same file folder as all your English homework.
Exactly. Something that I never want to open or see again.
And you know what? Just for that, this is how we're going to declare war on the King's podcast, okay?
Make them do provincial essays.
Oh yeah.
This is how we do our war. We're going to write exams for each other and we're going to complete it.
No.
And the side that doesn't get in, yeah, that's terrible.
No.
That's terrible.
That's
know,
an
that's
awful
a
idea.
terrible
I
idea.
can't believe we thought of this.
But
Oh
what we
god.
could do that involves writing and a little bit of, music. Make it a little interesting. I challenge speaking on the behalf of the Experience podcast, challenge the King's podcast to a rap battle. Rap battle.
They're going to get stomped.
Prepare to die of cringe.
Prepare to be put behind bars, our bars.
Ooh. Gang.
Gang. We throw up better gang signs than you nerds.
We're all white though.
You had to point that out.
Hey, you have a do-rag, Liam, so.
Yeah, I didn't go out of my way to purchase it. It was gifted
It was a gifted do-rag.
by a big man.
Big man.
Huge person.
Oh boy.
Anyways, so War of the Podcast.
Thank you for listening to episode 34 of the Experience podcast.
Hey, you got
You
it right.
got it
this time.
right.
I got it right.
You got it right.
Whoa!
That's how we know we're gonna win the war, because Liam got the episode count correct.
This is all. Yeah, that's how it is, man. This rap battle is going to be a rap battle of a generation. When will it happen? When the King's
Good
podcast
question.
stops shaking in their boots, I guess.
Exactly.
When they
Quit
stop
being
quaking.
such little bitches.